It could happen. Could it, like, work? I don't know, Twitch isn't showing me anything. Yeah? What? Fuck that. It's on the wrong camera. Whatever. I don't know why it changed suddenly, and I whatever. Some things don't matter that much. If the sound works, then I'm happy. No. You said we're live, but does the sound work? Okay, well, I don't something. No, that's past. Twitch. Oh my God. Stop. Stop what you're doing. No, do what I want. No. Okay, fuck it. You say we're live. I just believe you. I can't get Twitch to stop playing a previous. No, stop. Arnav, stop. Oh, fuck Twitch. Fuck you. Fuck you. Okay. Never mind. I'll just go with you say we're live. Close enough. What I really care about. Okay, that's an echo. Okay, whatever. We're we're live somewhere. Not just to the cloud, but to restream to was that YouTube or Twitch? Okay, you can turn that sound off now. Oh God, that's true. Where's your echo? Fucking sound. Oh my God. Martin just said, I can't turn the sound off because they can't hear me. And that's the worst thing in the world if you can't hear Martin. That's just, yeah, that's not okay. What is the world even for? This is fine. Well, okay, so you're working on the sound. In the meantime, can I share screen and maybe I can just start working on some Kubernetes shit? Okay. All right. You work on your sound. And I will do some Kubernetes things. Is it working? The share screen? Can you see some K9s? All right, so this is the Spring Pet Clinic app. It is like one of the canonical example projects in the world. Oh my God, Skype has switched my camera again. Fuck it. You get the shitty camera. Fuck it. This is a cat. This is my cat. This is Pixie. I have updated the Spring Pet Clinic app in exactly this one way. I put my cat in place of their cats. Just to prove that I could do a deployment at all. Now, whether I can do a deployment again, I probably forgot. But see the URL here. This is a generic AWS URL pointing to my cluster in EKS. I actually could set up DNS at this point and have a real one, but I haven't got to the part about I have to like install external DNS in my cluster, whatever that is. This is fine. What I really want is to get tracing so that when you click on things in this app, um, it it makes traces and we see them. So this is going to take some doing. Nope, I don't hear you. Well, no, I hear you.
I
They
think
don't
you
hear
hear me.
you. I hear you fine.
Yeah, and they hear
Oh,
me.
oh, I heard you again. That's a good sign.
Yes, I'm pretty sure that it is now working.
Okay. Why is this so hard? Every time it's this hard.
Yeah, I think this is
Other
this is the
people.
this is the new printers. Streaming software is the new printers. The real hard stuff is no longer setting up your printer. The real hard stuff is setting up streaming.
At the moment, we have 3D printers.
Yeah, which is just problems in 3 dimensions.
Right, which is why I do not own one.
Pierre owns one. Pierre likes this printer.
Pierre likes hardware.
Indeed.
We need to get Pierre on this stream at some point.
We do.
Oh, yeah.
The world needs more Pierre.
We need some Spicy Fridays on so at Honeycomb, my favorite meeting is Spicy Fridays, which is just the SAs, the sales architects, and whoever else joins. Get on and hack on something, just get something working. Usually it's like, hey, we have a prospect who is doing a lot of, what was it last week? GraphQL. I've got a couple projects that are doing prospects doing GraphQL, and I want to set up a toy GraphQL thing. That was Sasha was doing that. And so we just like make that work with lots of cursing. That's the spicy part. Spicy Fridays are not recorded. So we can't actually stream Spicy Fridays, but we could bring the spice to this stream.
Yeah. I mean, the one I attended a while back was desperately trying to get a Kubernetes thing working with deployments and Helm, and then somebody copying and pasting a YAML file between to give it to the person who was doing it.
Oh, that's always, yes.
And, and pasting it through Zoom.
If YAML were real code, then cut and paste would work.
But yeah, the indents went all out because Zoom just kind of, I don't know, said, oh, that's 2 spaces, I'm going to put 4. Oh, 1 space, I'm going to put 6. Like, I don't know.
And then there's the like invisible white space characters that Zoom will put in its chat bullshit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway. Yeah. Don't cut and paste YAMLs, and don't cut and paste anything through Zoom chat. It is your enemy. Meanwhile, okay, so here's this pet clinic. I want tracing. And you can see that my current deployments in Kubernetes. Oh, shut up, cow. Don't make me hit tab. All right. This pet clinic, a load balancer, and some DNS. That's it. So there's just the pet clinic in here.
Sounds like a start of a joke. Pet clinic, a load balancer and some DNS, walk into a bar. And everything goes wrong and we all know it was DNS's fault.
It's never DNS, except when it is. Which is a lot. It's actually, especially in Kubernetes. In Kubernetes, it's often DNS.
So the thing I love about this is like people say, oh yeah, DNS is easy. It's like, okay, well, what 2 components does DNS imply? Well, one of them is naming things, and the other one is cache invalidation, because those 2 things are easy.
Yeah, it's always DNS. The question is, will it be better tomorrow?
Everything's better with more sleep is a general rule in IT, I find. Oh, look, no, don't do that. Everybody can see the illusion. Don't put me on the screen, because now everybody can see the illusion.
Well, tell Skype to stop switching my camera then. Fuck.
Just, you didn't see anything behind. I am sat in an airport lounge like I always am.
Oh, right. Yeah, you and your airport lounge. Anyway, right, so I need to put tracing on the pet clinic. I know that the OTel operator can do that, and I want to do that from the instructions. Let's just start there. Yeah. So instructions. OpenTelemetry.io, docs, Kubernetes, getting started.
So for this, are we going to use the operator? Which is the...
We're going to use the operator.
Okay, so the idea is, for those that don't know, the
This Look at
operator.
this getting started shit. There's a lot in here. I mean, it's killing
Yeah,
me. Oh yeah, it starts with create cluster. Ah, what?
I
What the
love how
fuck is kind?
I love how
Whatever.
kind is a thing. So kind's like a mini cluster that you run
Is it a
locally.
CNCF project?
Yes.
Okay, that's why it's in here.
But I love the fact that it's called kind when it's really, really not kind to use. Like anybody who tells somebody else to use kind is not actually being kind.
Yeah, yeah. You want it to be kindly, but it's actually kind of.
So the operator. So what we're going to do auto instrumentation today.
The first step to collecting Kubernetes telemetry is to deploy a daemon set instance of the collector to gather telemetry related to nodes and workloads.
Do, does
Do you
anybody
agree with
else
that? Is that the first step?
do you feel like in all of these getting started docs are like draw two circles, now draw the owl? Or alternatively, it's pretty simple. All you need to do is understand astrophysics.
And every other CNCF project in the world.
Yep.
There's like Prometheus and shit in here, and Helm, and yeah.
Yeah. Here's the novel that you need to have read before you can understand these docs. So
Okay. This doesn't look like a bad idea, though. I mean, we're going to need a collector before we can do anything useful anyway. Right.
shameless plug. My blog post went out very recently that
Oh.
we can use,
Oh.
which is how to deploy a collector using Helm into Kubernetes.
Okay. Yeah, I have a blog post on that too. But it's
Yours isn't
weirder.
with Helm, I don't think, if I remember correctly.
I did use Helm. Well, I used Helm for some things, but it's older. Mine was like a year ago, so who knows if it even still works.
But this one is also
Here it
using
is.
something called the presets. So it should, fingers crossed, make things relatively easy with a very minimal config to be able to
Okay.
deploy a collector in the configuration that you need. So when it says
All
daemon
right.
set, what it's looking for is one collector for every one of your Kubernetes nodes. That's what it's trying to do.
Okay. And you're talking about AKS, but it doesn't actually matter, does it?
Nope. Nope. It does actually say there the important part is just that it's got two nodes.
Yeah. What? The important part being that we have two nodes. Okay. All right.
And that's why using a daemon set is the right approach.
Therefore, what we're supplying is in addition to that.
Do we want to
All right,
follow
so
the blog
this is
post or just click on the repo and copy everything?
your repo?
There's a
Oh,
repo for it.
I want to follow the blog post. Okay,
So
so
no
we've got
pressure on this being good then.
right. Copy to clipboard. There we go. That's a useful button. Okay, so I have a config file. All right, let's think about this. I'm going to deploy the collector using Helm. I should probably put this in my infrastructure repo. Be infra. There's my Terraform this is the operator example. Helm operator example. Okay. All right, so we're going to touch a collector config. This is the daemon set collector, right? I happen to know that we're going to have more than one collector, so I'm going to name it. Okay, I put that stuff in it. I put the stuff in. Let's see what the blog post says next. Would you be over there? All right.
So the next parts we'll be walking through exactly why that config works.
Let's break this down a little. Let's make this a lot bigger. Get bigger. There we go. All right. So right, it's a daemon set. Yes. And we've got image 81. What's the thing that lets us know what the current... How do you know the current version of the collector image?
You can just put latest. The problem is that it doesn't uncache when there's a new version, so it's better to be explicit. Current version is 83.
No. My question is, what web page do I visit to find out whether I should change this to 82 or 83 now?
I don't know.
How the fuck are we supposed to know? Open telemetry collector image.
I mean, technically it'll be on Docker Hub.
Yeah.
Um,
Tags. Latest 084. Okay, so I could change it to 84. I'm sorry, I have to write this down. I need to make a README. Every directory needs a README, and now I might as well open VS Code because I have 2 files. And I want to tell people that future me. This is a public repo. My infra stuff is out there, but it's not going to be useful to anyone else.
so is mine. So I've got the one for AKS that does a lot of this stuff, and there's that one for the repo as well. They're all public.
Now, then there's the part about building a collector image. But we're not there yet. We will want to build a collector image.
We don't need to at the moment for what you're doing, but I will be writing a post on that and how to push it to ACR and use it inside of these workflows.
Yay. ACR, Azure Container Registry.
Yep, as opposed to ECR, which is the E stands for AWS apparently, which is the Elastic Container Registry. Or the GHCR, which is the GitHub Container Registry.
Oh, okay, that one actually sounds useful. Well, that sounds public is what it sounds. Yeah, I have to use ECR with this, which it's a pain, but it's a pain that like I've arm wrestled enough recently enough that I can do it.
Well, that's that
it's
whole
like picking a scab I already have instead of swatting at mosquitoes.
It's the inbuilt concept. Oh, this is easy. Yeah, that's because you've done it 400 times in the last week. So yes, it does seem easy to you.
Okay, so we're working from Martin's blog post, which is this, and that's this. Okay, so we've got so we figured out how to find the latest image, and in that, come back. I can update this. Hold on. Before I touch that file, get add dot, get commit -m, copy in first collector config, and then so I have to commit the copy so I know where I started, and then update image tag, see readme for link. Okay, now I can change it. Whoops, except that I didn't add it. All right. Okay. So we changed that. And then we're going to look at the next important part of the file. Presets, Kubernetes attributes true. I'm happy about that. This is going to add some shit for Kubernetes. So we've got is this a front end collector?
No. So I did those to prove a point around augmenting the config. So you don't need those if you don't want to do it. But it tells you below that we're creating a collector that is around how to augment stuff, because the default is there for HTTP. So if you don't want to use that, then you don't need to. But it's a good default, because if people just run this up and try and use it in the front end, it won't work. So I think that should actually be the default, but hey ho.
Oh. Yeah, that's true. There's the default has a bunch of fucking garbage that's open, like Jaeger and Zipkin receivers, and it doesn't have like really useful things that are open.
Yeah. So yeah, you don't need the receivers collection on there. HTTP is automatically added anyway. And you'll probably only be using gRPC for what you're doing with this anyway, because the operator by default uses gRPC.
Okay, so I'm going to take out the receiver section because this is not a front-end collector. I will separately want a front-end collector, but that's not this one.
Okay.
So I'm going to get add dot, get commit -m. This is not a front-end collector. There we go. And then we'll look at the next part. Exporters. You didn't break. Okay. Oh, okay. I get it. It's the whole collector config. Look at this fucking tab shit, dude. Ugh.
Oh yeah, there's a few little tweaks that our editors are going through.
If it were real code, you could cut and paste that shit. Okay. Anyway, I know I want this stuff. I know I do.
So you want logs, you want metrics, and you want traces, yeah?
Yes. Yes. Let's enable all of those things, whether it's getting it or not. I do want those things enabled. Um, service metrics, service logs, whatever. Okay. And then service. I don't know why we put that there, but whatever. And then we give it the pipelines. And this is again augmenting
Yep. So it's just adding our OTLP traces exporter, our OTLP metrics, and our OTLP logs ones to the
to
relevant pipelines.
whatever the fuck defaults it has. Very mysterious.
Yeah.
Does this collector have the extension that lets it show us our config yet?
Nope.
Okay, we're building a collector soon. I want that in there. Okay.
It's not been accepted and merged in yet, so but when it is, we will.
Okay, great. Okay, now we get to add the Honeycomb API key. Did I make any changes? No. All right. I compulsively get status. All right, add the OpenTelemetry Helm repository to the cluster? What
Yep.
the fuck are you talking about? That does not add it to the cluster. That adds it to your local computer.
No. Helm doesn't run locally. Helm runs and keeps all of its stuff in config maps inside of your cluster.
No, it doesn't. Helm repo list or something. This is a local thing. This is not dependent on my cluster. This is a list of repositories that Helm locally. Which Helm is on my local bin.
Okay. Maybe I'm wrong.
This one's local. I think you should change your blog post. Because it just doesn't. You don't add a Helm repository to a cluster. You install a release in your cluster. I think it's called a release, the thing that you install and upgrade. So the chart is in a repository in the sky at GitHub, and then you add it to like your local knowledge, and there's a different secret word for update this. It's like
dependency update or something.
Helm repo update all. I don't know. No repositories. Okay, so what we actually want to do is Helm repo update. Shut up. Oh, it's just called OpenTelemetry. Helm repo update OpenTelemetry. Actually, this is something that I would like to add to my blog post, because we're always telling people how to add the repository, because this is the step that if you've never done this before, you have to do this. But I think we should add, and I should start adding this too, this update command, because for everyone else who's ever run this stuff before, we need to run this update. Yeah.
I mean, I suppose that there's an argument to say that does it really matter, because the people who are going to be reading this are not reading the Helm has been installed to the cluster type stuff. The people who are really delving deep will understand that.
Something that is inaccurate is wrong and decreases your credibility. So that needs to change. But I mean, we're reading this and we've installed a cluster before. It's more important to have the add than the update, but I think it would be useful to have both.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things where I will skim over and
just because
imply, because that isn't the important thing that we're doing. I don't know.
So on one hand, you have to skim over and link to it, and in that case, it's fair to link to the docs that do say this for the people who need to dig in and actually figure that part out, because they haven't yet. But also, never make someone feel stupid. That's one of my objectives in blog posts.
We have opposite goals from blog posts. I jest.
Okay. How about in the stream you could make someone feel stupid? I mean, I'm still going to try not to, but this is the place for bullshit. Anyway,
No, I will
I think
remove the
this
to
is
the
a smart
cluster part.
decision.
Yeah, I'll remove the to
Yeah,
the
yeah.
cluster part.
You could just say add it, period. And
Yeah.
if you want to be really nice, speak to yourself and to people like us. And also say, or if you've already done this, do Helm repo update OpenTelemetry. So people don't have to look that up.
Yeah, there was a ton of
Because I've
stuff
done
I
it more than
removed from the
once.
post to make it smaller as well. So it's about balance, isn't it? Don't want to do too
Oh,
much.
what is this? Okay. I know exactly what you're talking about here. Because I do this. Because we
and
do
it's
this together.
and it's also the thing you told me to add to the post. So
Oh, it's a really useful thing to do. I think you need one more sentence, which is after you're happy with your config, run without the dry run parameter to actually install into your cluster. What do you think?
yeah, that was in there. I have a feeling that there's a section that's been hidden.
Oh, something that like didn't get pasted in or something, or isn't
Yeah.
showing because WordPress.
Yeah, I think the
Okay,
second
so
one.
that's worth editing. Watch this. What browser am I in? I am in Safari. No, I'm in Chrome. Let's just fix this. Come here. Don't you know me? Do you know me? Do you know? You're supposed to know me.
I know we love side quests.
Oh, all right. All right. Fine. Didn't
While
give me an
you're
edit
doing
button.
that, I will ask our editor to go and fix it. How does that sound?
You can, I mean, if you want, but I can fix it myself. Where'd my blog post go?
But that's only if it is that problem.
Wait,
So I'm going to look at why the problem
let's break
occurred.
this down a little. We did that. Add the API key. Okay, I need to do that. And then there's the conclusion, and then there's the related post. Also, let's try shrinking it. No, that didn't make it come in. Okay, we're adding I still need to do this part. I need to do this part. Oh, wait, what? Wait, no. Okay, no, there's definitely a problem here because this is under adding the honeycomb API key. That is not, what? No, that's not what,
I'm reading
that's
it
not
now.
what's
I'm
happening
reading the
here.
original.
Okay, well, we have discovered something. We have discovered that your blog post is just missing whole sections. Because this is not about adding the honeycomb API key. That is what I need to do. This is something we later need to do.
No,
But
so it does technically that command does add the honeycomb API key.
what?
The Helm install command does
What?
add the honeycomb API key. If you look at what it does,
Oh, this.
yes, that adds the honeycomb API key because it adds the values. So it is right in that section.
Okay. Okay. And is this going to pull this out of my environment variable?
No, you need to add it.
I
Which
need to,
there is
what?
a bit missing that by looks of it, which is the two sections on there.
Aren't we supposed to have like a secret?
This will add the secrets.
This will add the secrets.
So we went back and forward on this blog post about whether I should add the secret first as a separate command and then reference it, or whether in the intro post, which is what this one is, whether we should just add it in one single line. And I can't remember how many comments there were on the thread internally about which one to use,
Okay.
but that's where we ended up.
Okay,
but
that's
I've
fine,
missed
but could
the
you
bit.
say that?
Yeah, that's the bit that's been missed.
Okay.
So I am asking it to be added now.
And where's it getting the value for my honeycomb API key?
You need to put them in the command. That's what I'm saying. That's the bit that's missing.
Okay. Oh, I'm supposed to actually like change this?
There's two sections in there. That one of them's hidden by the copy buttons, where it says path to my values
Path
file.
to values file. Yeah, that, but we know
Yeah.
what that is.
And then the
That's
next
this
bit,
thing.
yeah. And then the next bit there says then the value is my Honeycomb API key.
Oh, I'm supposed to put something in there.
Yeah, that's the bit that's missing.
And
That
where's the
should.
space? Shouldn't there be a space after that, maybe? Yeah, I think there should be a space after this curly brace too.
Yeah,
Um,
and there is in the original.
yeah.
So in the
Um,
original, you see there's a double space after the
al-
values file bit and a single
Also,
space after.
could we not use like curly or pointy braces for the values file substitution and curly braces for this substitution? Could we be consistent on that? There's two places where we want someone to substitute things, and we've used different delimiters.
Yep.
Okay. All right, so we're gonna get this blog post improved a bit. Right. So I'm gonna cut and paste this into my README and then fix it. Yeah, install. So I think you're saying that the Helm chart will actually create a secret for this, or does it
Yes.
just create an environment variable?
It creates a secret and then it uses that secret to add to the environment variables of the running container.
Okay. All right.
And ultimately, I don't like it because this actually adds your API key into your bash history. But ultimately, this isn't the way that people would do it anyway when they were doing
Well,
this in production.
can't I do this like that? Because I have Honeycomb API key in an environment variable.
That presupposes they're using bash. Doesn't work on Windows.
I don't care.
I care. If Microsoft are listening, I do care.
I mean that's fine. I'm just gonna put the $sign in there, and that's effectively me substituting the right thing in here.
Yeah.
And then path to values file could be, there's two spaces there.
Yeah, like I say, the two spaces and one space are actually different in the original, so I have no idea how that happened. But there was a few problems with that post when it got pasted in, so just a few things being missed.
What do you do? Okay, so a tick, click, tick, enter, Alt, save. Okay, so now I have this. And I can copy this and I can run it. Great. Okay, and it does put my Honeycomb API key in there. No, is that in env? No, that just, I think you're full of shit about the secret there. This isn't creating a secret. This is just throwing it in an environment variable.
I may be full of shit.
Well, your post didn't say that it made a secret, so it's okay.
I mean, the point is that this isn't the way that I would imagine people use this in production anyway.
Right. I want this as a secret, like in my Terraform, actually.
Yeah, because I was like, I was toying with the idea of let's run a kubectl command that creates a secret with the API key and then reference that.
Mm-hmm.
But then we came to the conclusion that for the getting started post, it's probably just better to say, let's get somebody up and running with a collector first. Because if somebody's running this in production, they're probably going to be asking those questions.
Oh, yeah. That's actually like my blog post, which never got published on the Honeycomb blog in its entirety. So, and the version on my blog is crap. I just cut and paste like with all the to-dos and shit. I was just like, I need to reference this. So there it is. But I do have that kind of stuff in there, which is why it was so long that Rox refused to publish it on our blog. Okay, so we pipe that into a file with spit temp.yaml at the end. And then you can search for the string kind config map. So let's see, in VS Code, I'm going to open my temp and I'm going to search for config map. and I find it right here. And data relay. What is data relay pipe? I don't know what that means. But I guess this is its config file. Exporters, extensions, processors. Wow, look at all that stuff. Look at all this shit that I don't want. Okay.
Yep. And I was tempted to actually do a second post, which was, and this is how you should actually do it.
Oh no, that's actually a really good idea. This is how you should actually do it. That would be a beautiful second post. I mean, it might be three posts. So this is how you remove the bullshit you don't want from the collector's Helm chart. So here's like a config.yaml that actually starts you with empty.
Please can I call it removing the collector Helm's bullshit?
Verbally, yes.
No, I want that in the SEO, damn it.
We could call it slimming down the collector config.
Oh.
Okay. But as a subtitle.
Like when I tweet it out, that's what I'm going to call it, you know.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. That's perfectly appropriate. Yes. Agree. Okay. We have this is acceptable. So I can do that and get add dot. I'm actually going to add the temp.yaml. The temp.yaml contains the dry run. And then I'm going to do the install without the dry run, which, yeah, you said is missing from that one thing. Helm install. Yeah, there's the dry run. Oh, nice. You put it at the end. I like that. Go. Okay. So now I'm really installing an OpenTelemetry collector into my real cluster. Uh-oh. Okay. So I had problems with the pod IP instead of 000 for something or other. And but there was no fucking way to, like, it was like really mysterious to figure out that was actually the problem. So rather than changing the default, they've added a piece of information that tells you that it does this, which tells you absolutely fucking nothing about the consequences. That's not true. There's a link. So maybe it does tell me something fucking nothing. If I click on that, I can click on this. Oh my God. To not exclude. Wow. No. That does not. Okay. Side quest. Tell me what I need to know, which is that sometimes I need to tell it to use 0000, and I've forgotten why now. So that some things can connect to it. Yeah. Anyway, let's see if I hit that problem again.
I mean, it worked when I deployed it.
This is an accurate statement. Whether it's useful to me or not is another question. Okay.
As in,
right.
It's technically correct, which is the best kind of correct.
I should have an additional. Okay, it's not a deployment though.
No, it's a daemon set.
Daemon set. Okay.
No, you need to tab. There you go.
Okay. My OpenTelemetry collector agent. Could have named it better.
Unfortunately, you can't, because it will always have collector agent at the end.
Only collector agent? I thought it was OpenTelemetry collector agent.
I'm pretty sure it's the.
Well, I could just do better bullshit. Than mine.
It's bullshit anyway.
Yeah, if you name it like collector daemon set, you'll get collector daemon set OpenTelemetry collector agent.
Yep. I mean, I've seen people in with titles bigger than that. Head senior principal.
Department of Redundancy department.
Yep.
Okay. So we have an agent. There it is. Let's see if it likes us. If I hit enter a lot of times, I might get some logs. Maybe not. Well, it doesn't hate us. It didn't like fail, but it also isn't doing anything.
You should have had some logs from it.
You'd think it would spit out some logs. I would expect it to spit out some logs. So then we get the question of, okay, Martin's blog post that doesn't have the whole thing in it. What does it do? How do I know this is working? How do I know? How do I know it's working? It's not doing anything. I guess it should be sending to Honeycomb, eh?
Well,
No,
if
why
you've
would
got,
it send to Honeycomb? It's only a processor. Ugh.
and it's hard because at this point you can't really
Okay.
tell whether it is working unless you've got some logs. And the
While we're
logging,
editing this, can we add something about how to know it's working or what you would expect out of it? This is a problem with OpenTelemetry documentation in general. What do so I run this. So what? What does it do? How do I get anything? I okay. Back to maybe this part will tell me. I don't have the kubelet stats. Do I have the kubelet stats receiver? Let's look at my temp.yaml.
nope. Because we didn't add that as a preset. The preset in
That's
the
a
one that
different
comes in
preset.
is only
Okay.
the Kubernetes
Processor.
attributes processor. Yeah.
Which I happen to know only does something if you send something through it, and nothing we have is sending anything through it. So
Bring up your config file again. I want to know whether it's got the debug logging on it because that's something that we could do.
this is my config file.
It's part of the pipelines, I think.
Okay. Receivers, service, pipelines, logs. We have a logging exporter.
So that's for logs.
Yeah.
So we don't have that. But there is. Let me bring it up because we can add that to it. The default config because that will allow us to see
Receivers,
it.
Prometheus, receivers, OTLP, Jaeger, Zipkin.
And
That we could add that to the post then. Exporters logging. We turned off the logging exporter, right?
Yeah.
Or that's not in ours, is it? No, we didn't turn
we
it
didn't do
off.
anything
It's
with
just empty already in the default.
So
Yeah. Okay. We did something and I want to see it do something before I take another step. Incremental, man. Incremental.
toddler steps.
That's true. Yeah. There's nothing you do with Helm is a baby step, but toddler
so none
steps
of
sounds
mine
about
have
right.
that on, but they do have
Toddler steps because you fall the fuck over all the time and hit your head on the corner of the table.
Yeah. So troubleshooting for the collector does not in any way say how to
test it.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
there we go. That's where it is. Under service telemetry logs, log level. So if you go into your file.
Okay. You want me to look at my
values YAML?
No. Where did you find this piece of information?
It was 2 levels deep on the OTEL blog.
Blog?
OTEL. So it was on the OTEL docs.
Okay,
and then I had
better.
to go into the repo from there to do additional troubleshooting.
What are we troubleshooting? The collector? Troubleshooting.
And then down at the bottom.
Down at the bottom.
Troubleshooting.
More troubleshooting.
There, top one.
Okay, right. All right. So that's a do things right button. So it's under service, but it's not a pipeline.
Yes.
All right.
But I still get the startup when I do it. That's the thing that's confusing me. When I did it, there's a load of startup stuff that you just get by default. Yeah, there's normally
some startup stuff. Turn on its saying stuff. Whoops. No, that's not. I want, hold still. I need this. Okay, that. And then I'm going to go get this again. And I'm going to put that in our collector config under service. So this is a do things right button. Okay, but let's pacify the YAML. Okay, that looks right. And now this is something I can commit. Pet clinic, not pet clinic. I'm in infra. Get add dot, get commit dash m. And then we're going to need to do the Helm upgrade. So we'll do the Helm command again, but we change install to upgrade. Upgrade. And then we wait. Toddler steps. And then it says something and revision 2. I like that. Now, oh, hey, look, it printed us some shutdown logs. I don't know why it wouldn't give us the startup logs.
So it should now be a new one though. So they.
Okay, so here's collector agent running. Sometimes if I shrink, yeah, there we go. Now I get an age. So then if we hit enter, oh, look at all that garbage.
There we go.
Okay, so we know that it's running. I still don't know that it will do anything or send anything to Honeycomb. I need a way to test that. Which gets me back to...
So there is stuff like the hotel CLI that we could use. It's not going to by default give us access to be able to hit it, anything with it.
No, we should have to exec into the cluster for this. That part's not weird because this is an internal cluster. We did not, in fact, set it up for the front end. That's much more hard. That's harder than just putting cores. You also have to put a service in front of it. Here's how to put the API key in as secrets, enable cores, troubleshooting. Oh, look, this might have changed exporters logging log level.
Yeah,
does that still work or is
it
that
did
old?
change. It did change, yeah.
It did change. All right. I'm going to write down update my post. Update my post about service logging. It's not like that. Telemetry. Okay, whatever. Good enough. So I'm wrong about this now. Here's send a test span.
Would you like a BusyBox shell that you can just deploy?
Yeah, there's a command in here for somewhere for that. Here it is. Well, this is using Ubuntu, but let's try this.
You do BusyBox. BusyBox is a little bit easier.
Instead of Ubuntu?
Yeah, it runs a lot quicker.
Okay. All right, let's do BusyBox. Just BusyBox? I think it's just BusyBox.
I mean, I ran you sent you a little thing to deploy it in Skype.
Skype.
But I sent you a cube cuddle thing that you can just deploy a little box. I tend to deploy that when I'm
in you just actually deploy it.
Yeah.
I've got a and this is
you've already got a test pod.
Okay. How do I connect to it? That's the question.
Exec. And then remove the RM, remove the restart never. You want the
NVI.
You want to keep the I and TTY, I believe.
Okay, so we'll exec test pod -I -TTY. And
then bash.
Right, bash. Good plan. Great. Exec pod is deprecated. It just wants me to put a dash in front of the command. That's nice. Okay. In here, I should be able to find my hotel open Telemetry collector agent. Should I use BusyBox? How about wget? How about dig? What the fuck do you know how to do?
Yeah, I was. What the fuck? Command not found. I mean, that is. I mean, it was just repeating what was in our heads.
It's Ubuntu. It's not. That's not a.
Are you?
It's not.
Are you
Usually
using
a skimpy
Ubuntu?
image.
Uname
I
minus
said
R.
image Ubuntu. In the one that worked.
If you just do what is it? Uname minus R.
Oh, the secret thing.
Or is it LSB underscore release minus A?
Obviously.
Ooh, this doesn't feel like it was Ubuntu.
Yeah, it doesn't. Okay. Your pod, we hate your pod. We want to change it to BusyBox. And so I want to kubectl unrun, shutdown, delete test pod. And let's try it again.
Delete pod. Delete pod, test pod.
Okay, great. I like that. And then we'll run it with BusyBox.
Bear in mind, I was only doing this with, what's it called? Pinging.
Now it hates me.
No, it doesn't have bash.
What does it have?
SH? I don't think it has ash, whatever ash is.
Ah. It does have ash. It doesn't set the shell though. What the fuck good is a box that doesn't have fucking... I just want curl. Just give me fucking curl.
I was using it for pinging. It can ping things.
I want to send some data to it.
wget?
I tried that on the other one. Oh, it does have wget. Okay, well that's an improvement.
I mean, it's hilarious that it has...
Ping doesn't... I can't ping it.
So, but that's because it's not a service. That's not the name you should be pinging. You should be pinging the pod name, not that. So you can't ping a daemon set using a name like that.
Okay. What do I...
If you go into K9s...
Why don't I have pod IP?
Because it's not an environment variable that's passed into it. So if you copy the full pod name up to the RX6KZ, because a service is what you were thinking. If we had a service that said my OpenTelemetry collector agent, you'd be able to do that.
But how would it get this pod? How does my app export to this?
So,
collector?
okay. So this is where daemon sets are the way that people say to do it, because they use the node IP address.
Oh, node IP, not pod IP. Yeah, that's what I was looking for. Actually,
so it opens up port 4317 on the node for that particular pod.
Where does it have? Do I have the node IP? Is it localhost?
Yeah.
Why are you pinging anything with a semicolon in it? Well, it pings localhost.
So ping doesn't work for a port, though, does it? You could telnet to it. I mean, technically, if you... So,
yeah, I don't need to be in its pod.
You want to know whether
I just want to send it.
You want to know whether it's got information. If you do wget...
It does have HTTP on, right?
Yeah, so if you do wget, localhost 4317...
8. It's 4317...
/v1 / traces.
Connection refused. Yeah, connection refused. Is it 7 or 8?
Ooh. Ugh. So...
Fuck everything.
Oh, no, so that's... Right. So... No.
I want to... Okay.
So localhost isn't going to work there, because that's... Localhost in that context is the pod itself.
Which makes sense to me. What I want is the node IP. Right?
Yep.
How the fuck do I know the fucking node IP? Why is Kubernetes not giving me that?
Because you need to tell Kubernetes to give it the node IP, which is what you use something called the downward API for, which
Hold
is
on. Hold
not a
still.
yoga pose.
Pet clinic, service host, service port, Kubernetes port. It gives me some things. Does it?
Where's it getting Pet Clinic from? Because you're in BusyBox right now, aren't you?
Yeah. Pet clinic is a service. That's why. You get all the services.
As environment variables.
Yeah, you do.
All right.
But
That's
apparently
news.
not the daemon sets.
Yeah, because daemon sets aren't services. They're something separate. But why you not got the node IP then is a different...
I feel like I ought to have the node IP.
So you can use the downward API to get that. I love the term downward API. Just makes me think yoga poses every time. It's like, and now I'm
Okay,
doing
right.
downward API.
Yeah. It's supposed to be restful. Okay. How do I use the downward API to get that?
So you have to pass it in as an environment variable. I don't know how you do it on the command line, but we should be able to do it via kubectl. If you look at your temp file, it'll actually show you your temp.yaml, your output. Because so
which I can get to here, right? Because if I do,
if you push Y from
cow, just push tab for me. Where's my busy box? It's a pod, right? Busy box. Here it is. Test pod.
Yeah, and if you do Y, you'll be able to see the YAML.
Y. No.
Y will give you the YAML. D gives you a subset of what you get from the YAML.
I need to get up Y. Okay. All right. So when I ran kubectl run, it created this pod definition.
Yeah.
Just a pod, not a deployment, not a daemon set, just a pod.
Yeah. If you do that, the Y on the daemon set for the collector, you'll be able to see what the config is that passes in the node IP.
Does the collector even get the node IP?
I think so.
I go up here. I could push Y on the pod if I want. And this is the definition that is generated for the pod. Now, this was actually generated from a... what did we make when we made the daemon set? Not pods. We made a daemon set. My pod IP, Kate's node name. This gives it the node name. I don't know that this one's getting the node IP, but maybe so that could be requested.
Yeah, so where you see that, is it from field, I think it is? Field path. Yeah, so where you got value from.
Mm-hmm.
That field path.
So this is...
There's one for node IP.
Containers, env... Oh, I hate the dashes there. That's so confusing. What does that even mean? Right. Okay. I'm trying to get stupid node IP. Yeah, this one has a service. My example has a service, so I can just pull it out of the environment variable. But here I'm going to need the pod IP. Okay. So I need a secret formula, and now I'll go ahead and make the test pod YAML. Okay, to make the test pod YAML, I go to the test pod, I push enter. No, I don't push enter because that gets me to containers. I push Y, C for copy, and then I'm going to go to VS Code and make a new file. I actually hate making a new file in VS Code. It's fucking hard. The hotkey is wrong, and sometimes I fix it, but then I'm in a new environment or whatever. B infra cd. Where was I? I was in operator. Touch test pod.yaml.
I have to say, every time I see you do touch, it just reminds me of the dirty Linux command.
It's the dirty Linux command as opposed to like the perfectly ordinary Linux command.
Have you not seen the big long command that uses
Oh,
all of the commands in that are yeah.
today I am one of the lucky 10,000.
I just go on, and look at the first comment.
Unzip, strip, touch, finger grab. Sorry.
It's the bit at the end though, and then sleep.
I don't get the grep in there. It's like grope.
Yeah.
Yeah. Excellent.
I can't believe you've never seen that before, but yeah,
right,
I'm
right,
glad I
yeah.
introduced you.
Okay, this doesn't look right to me either. Look at all this shit.
Oh yeah, a lot of that's also generated, so you can get rid of most of that.
Most of it.
And then
I like status. I know I don't need that. Volumes. I don't want a volume, but is that necessary? It's got a cert. Maybe I'll leave it. Tolerations, whatever the fuck that is. I don't know what all this stuff is. I know that I want to add something to containers. Oh, no, that's not it. Okay, there was some secret thing that I wanted to add to containers. God, this is kludgy. I like finding documentation on things. This is not fun. Okay, we were looking at the collector for an example. We were looking at its YAML. Why? No, that's a container. Containers don't have YAML. Pods have YAML. We were looking for node that we didn't have IP. We had no name, but under containers there was env, and then there was this thing with the name, and we actually want the IP. Okay, so
okay,
I'm going to the test pod YAML. I'm going to add env as a section. I'm going to put this in it. I'm going
to... you've put the space in the wrong place with your dash. It needs to go before it. Two of them.
Like that. Shift tab, you fucker. God damn it. Why won't it fix it? Value from field ref.
Yep. You can remove the API version. You don't need it. And the thing that you want is status.hostip.
Host IP?
Yeah. Status.hostip, and it's a capital I and a capital P. But a lowercase h.
And I'm going to put this where I want, which is a node IP. And a lowercase h?
Yep. But you'll need to get rid of stuff like the UID and all that kind of stuff.
This shit. That's why the shift tab wasn't working.
I mean, realistically, all you really need is the thing I just dropped in Skype, which is the same as I gave you before.
Okay, you don't like it when I show Skype, so you... Okay, we're going to copy this. And here I am copying YAML out of Skype chat. Is it better than Zoom chat? I doubt it.
Well, it worked the first time.
We're doing this. Okay. Here's the end. Node IP. So I guess this is the do things right.
Yeah.
Whatever. Okay, so we have a test pod YAML. I'm going to exit this test pod. I'm going to kubectl delete test pod.
Test pod.
Thanks. Oh, this is so painful. All right.
I mean, technically, because of the command that you ran, it actually did it all in one command. So now we need to do...
Now we're going to k-apply testpod.yaml. -f. You have to say -f.
If you want to provide a file, yes.
Go. Unknown field spec.env. That's because this is under container.
Yeah, it needs to be indented. YAML!
Fuck everything. Okay. Did not expect this. Line 14.
Ah, yum, yum.
Uh,
Oh, it needs to be under resources, that's why.
no.
Does it?
There's something to do with this dash. I hate this dash. I don't understand dashes in YAML. They're bad. It hates line 14. I'm pretty sure that's wrong. No, that isn't it. Did not find expected key. There's something. God, fuck everything. Fucking do things fucking right. Oh my god. Oh my god. This is so hard. No.
YAML.
No.
YAML is hard.
God. Okay, this doesn't look right to me. That should be over there. And oh look, there's a single space there. That can't be good. I feel like that should be there. But then that would be there probably. Fuck if I fucking know.
Resource.
Yeah. This is stupid.
YAML
Okay,
is stupid.
I hate everything. I hate everything. Kubernetes, could you tell me which key? Could you give me a link to a goddamn schema with a real fucking... Okay.
What I will say is it's a very good thing that I've got headphones on, because I'm pretty sure people three doors away probably heard.
Yeah, it's rude to scream on stream because it startles people. So sorry.
I mean, swearing is fucking okay.
Right.
But
Yes.
as long as you don't do it loud.
Okay. No, we're going to look up. I can't. I hate trial and error with this shit. Kubernetes pod YAML schema. Tell me what this is supposed to fucking look like. I don't know why I'm in an incognito. Also, can I use JSON, please, for the love of God? Oh my God, this is so hard. YAML, it's so readable. Fuck that shit.
Okay, I've made it work.
Well, yeah, but now I can't cut. Calm down, Jess. You making it work doesn't get it to me because fucking cut and paste doesn't work.
Yeah, but it didn't work on mine from my original, so the cut and paste will probably work now.
No, I don't want to cut and paste. Send me a fucking file in Slack. No, send me the goddamn file, the whole thing. Please.
I like the fact that you added please on the end, so I will.
My husband's asking me if I'm doing all right. I'll live. It's just computers.
It's just YAML. It's fine. Right.
I want the whole file. I'm not accepting a portion or a cut and paste.
There you go. It is in Slack. It's also in Skype.
You see these dashes? I don't really get it. I think they mean there can be more than one, and this is starting the definition of an element in contain. It confuses the shit out of me.
Starting an array. It's the starting of the element in an array.
Okay, I'm downloading this file. I'm showing it in the Finder. I'm copy this to testpod2.yaml, obviously. All right. We're going to look at testpod2.yaml in this thing. There's a dash, there's a dash. But see, sometimes the dash is like over there. And sometimes it's not. See, here, it's not over there.
It's because indentation is both important and not important at the same time.
Okay. Right, so this isn't about args. It's actually about containers.
Yes.
It's actually this is what you're doing there. Okay.
But yeah, you could move.
We'll try applying testpod 2.
Told you.
I actually have another meeting. Okay.
Right, well, I think we stop it there. But thank you, everyone.
Exec test pod. Was its name test pod? Or is its name is test pod 2 now, right?
Yep. Right, I'm going to stop the stream here. It's been fun.
Okay.